Hi, this is Danae Woody, and I'm here with Dr. Kristen Hick. And we thought it would be nice to get together and talk a little bit about some of the challenges that parents and families are going through and individuals are going through in light of COVID 19. And for those of you who have questions about what the therapy process might look like and how it's changed in light of COVID 19 and some options for seeking therapy right now, this is a great time to hear from Dr. Hick about what you can do and what your options are. So, with that, Dr. Hick, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and your practice and how COVID 19 has changed how you see and treat patients?
Yeah, of course. Thanks so much for having me, Danae. It's a pleasure to meet with you and to talk about how COVID has changed our lives, and is changing our lives kind of day to day. I own and am the director of Center for Shared Insight, which is a private group practice specializing in all things relationships, from dating to divorce, to parenting. So we definitely are seeing a lot of people, having questions around how is COVID-19 affecting my ability to get a divorce, what I will experience during the divorce, and also co-parenting matters and things after the divorce. So I'm really glad to be here to talk about that. How it's changed our practice is that we have moved all online. So for some clients, that's video. For some clients, it's phone. It's kind of whatever is the preference of the client. Some people just prefer one or the other. And we're not seeing clients in person right now. Once it's safe enough to go back into the office, we will definitely be, creating some routines and procedures so it makes it safe enough to be in person. But we also know that some clients won't be ready to return to in-person sessions as other people are, or even when we open the office again. Whether they're a frontline worker and they're going to be continue to have exposure and really need to have different precautions, or some people are going to just really like the video or phone better, and or they're somewhere in Colorado but not necessarily local enough to come see our office in Denver. We are happy to continue to see them virtually after this is over. It's kind of changed how we do things. So, and for the clients, both new and existing clients have really made the transition pretty smoothly to video and phone. So it's kind of been neat to see how we've all adapted to this during this
So, you
time.
are accepting new patients?
Yes, we definitely are. And it's been interesting to see how new clients have adapted to that as well. And therapists have adapted. Therapists haven't been trained to do new sessions, like first sessions online. It's kind of a weird experience, but I think we're all adapting in a really cool way and finding new ways to be getting the support people need. So,
Awesome. So,
yeah.
what are the most important questions that clients should ask when they're looking to start a new therapeutic relationship?
Well, there's several things. I'll kind of give, some of the things that I think are maybe the most important, or what can kind of shift whether it feels like a good fit. And that's really what we want, is to have it feel like a good fit in your gut. So within the first few sessions, you should feel like this person gets me. They can help me. And if you don't feel that, it's okay to say, I'd like to try a new therapist. Is there someone else in your practice I can work with? Or, hey, I'd like another referral to someone in the community, and we'd be happy to support that. Um, you really want to know whether someone's specialized in working with what you need to work on. So if you're wanting to work on moving through your divorce, processing your divorce, you want someone that has experience working in divorce, working with the legal aspects of it, and working with like co-parenting matters. So, or, if it's trauma or if it's depression or anxiety, you want to know that that's what they work with, and they really have enough experience to go into the detail that you need to. The other thing is, what is their education and training background? So what training have they had that leads them to have this specialization in what you're wanting to work on? Not every therapist is, you know, trained for every client. So you want to find someone, and you can ask the therapist, like, what's your training? What's your background? What makes you a good fit for me? Some of the other things are their style. So are they more, is a therapist more directive and challenging, confrontational, or are they more nurturing and kind of allow the process to unfold, or some combination of both? Some other things are location. So right now, location doesn't matter as much. We're able to see anyone in the state of Colorado, but location may become more important as we get back from quarantine. So if it's really important to you to have someone in person, you might want to find someone more local to where you can drive to once this is over. If you're someone that can be kind of open, or maybe you live in a rural community where there's not many choices anyway, this really opens up your choices. So that's, something that good. And at the end of it all, it's all about the fit, like what you feel in your gut, whether it feels like a good fit or not. And I encourage people to try a few, maybe even call a few and kind of find out who they're about, check their website, see what is the flavor or their style of how they do therapy.
Awesome. So, are therapists still able to make sure that people's confidential medical information and therapeutic information stays confidential when we're in an online setting?
Absolutely. So we use two platforms, one through our electronic medical record system, and that is secure and encrypted, and it's part of our secure and encrypted system. We also use Zoom, but we use the healthcare HIPAA compliant version, so it is all secure. I know there's a lot of questions going in there about like Zoom bombers and that. We haven't had any, and we take a lot of precautions. There's little settings that you can set up in there that make sure it's safe. And so we have been taking all those precautions in terms of a HIPAA standpoint. But we also work with clients to figure out where they can do these sessions. Many of them are at home with kids, with a partner, and maybe a partner that they're thinking about divorcing, or wanting to know a little bit more about or work through some of the things, but maybe their significant other doesn't know, or their kids don't know. And so we work with clients to figure out like where are some good spaces for you to be in your home or outside your home. Is it in your car? Is it taking a walk and being on the phone with your therapist? Is it, arranging it around when your partner has, a weekly meeting, or, nap time, or after bedtime? We get creative these days to like, how can we create a private space, whether it's noise machines or fans? We've
Awesome.
kind of gone through it all.
So, you mentioned after bedtime. Does that mean that you all have flexible hours and you're willing to work with people on that?
Yes, absolutely. We have early in the day, sometimes as early as 7 a.m. And then we have evening, we go as late as 8 p.m. So where we kind of flex. And, for a lot of clients, like if they've had during nap time, they schedule their appointment for nap time, and then nap time doesn't really work out, which doesn't always work out the way you want it to. We have, definitely been flexible and going, okay, can you jump on an hour and a half hour? Like, yes, I have that time free. We can kind of adjust it, or we'll meet on a different day. So we've been, trying to find ways to make it work for our clients.
Awesome. So, there may be a lot of reasons people aren't looking for a therapist right now, or maybe they're putting it off. What are the potential problems with putting off therapy if somebody feels in their gut that they really would need some help?
Yeah, it's kind of excuse me, it's sort of like a snowball effect, that like if it just keeps going, it gets bigger. It doesn't, like, I think there's a lot of familial messages, cultural messages around just like keep grinning and bearing it and just keep going through it. Just hang on, keep going through it. But the fact of the matter is, with mental health concerns and issues, relationship issues, they don't get better with time if you don't work on it. So what we're seeing is that people are numbing out a lot more. So they're engaging in more alcohol use, even substance use. They're kind of trying to avoid their feelings, or they're tuning out, where they're like sucked into some TV show, kind of tuning out of the problems. And that becomes, it just festers more and more. So we're seeing increases of anxiety, depression, sleep loss, especially around anxiety issues. People kind of up, ruminating all night, and it's really become a huge problem for a lot of people. And we're also seeing conflict in relationships increase. So unfortunately, if there was any sort of underlying relationship problems before COVID, we're seeing that this is intensifying that conflict, intensifying the distress in their relationships, not going down quite as much, because people are having to homeschool and daycare on top of their jobs, and on top of not being able to have their normal social and exercise and fitness outlets. So once, Denverites could have gone up to the mountains on the weekends, they're not allowed to do that anymore. And that's really changing people's lifestyles. And increasing conflict.
Yeah. Um, so, on top of being stuck at home and not being able to go to the mountains or not being able to do some of the other things that families used to enjoy to do together, um, money is tight for a lot of people right now. The economic
Yes.
impact of the global pandemic and all of the stay-at-home orders have really affected people in various ways, some more than others. What are the options at your practice, and what are some of the different kinds of services that you offer and that therapists in your practice offer so that people can still get the help they need and stay within budget?
Yeah, good question. We definitely know and we hear every day from our clients and from new clients, um, the financial stressors they're under right now. And even if it hasn't happened to them yet, there's like an uncertainty about how it could change and when it will change. And so we're really trying to meet the needs of our clients. Any existing clients, we are talking with them on an ongoing basis and saying, how does it feel? This just happened for you. Like, should we talk about the rate? Does something feel like, we need to adjust it so that you can still come as often or as frequently, but also pay a little bit, pay a lesser fee until this kind of blows over. And we really approach this as like, okay, so what rate would make you feel more comfortable, where it makes you think about going to Starbucks, but it doesn't at all make you feel fearful that you can't put food on your table, right? Like, because we know this is a great service, but we want to make sure you can actually fit it. So sometimes it's reducing the rate, sometimes it's reducing the frequency of sessions if that's appropriate for the client, and the therapist and the client can talk about whether that's appropriate. And then for new clients coming in the door, our intake coordinator knows that if they need a reduced fee because of circumstance, we want to get them in the door. We want to get them helped, and we're gonna make sure we make that happen. So we don't have like specific rates because it's based on kind of the circumstances of each client.
Awesome.
And then the other two kind of lower fee options are divorce recovery group and our transforming trauma group. So those, you get a really great service, you get the support of others. We're meeting by Zoom right now, which is kind of weird, but we're all rolling with it. It's working. So we're meeting virtually, and it's a lot lower cost. So the cost of the groups are $45 for the transforming trauma group and $60 a week for the divorce recovery group. So a lot lower than our normal rates, and you get great support.
Awesome. That was going to be my question, was to
Yeah, sorry.
talk about the groups. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here and for answering my
Yeah, of
questions.
course.
I can't wait to share this with all of my clients and contacts,
Yeah.
and perhaps we'll get to chat again soon.
Yes, thank you so much. We are happy to help any of your clients.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.